Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Formula West Leagues, or Formula Worldwide Leagues, presents the Wednesday Night Challenger Series, or Wednesday Night Throwdown, my apologies, I'm forgetting the name of each series. Round 2 of Season 23-1 around the Hungarring. Before we jump into qualifying, we're still waiting for a couple more people to join. We are going to take a quick overview of the track. The Hungarring, been around in F1 since 1986 when Nelson Piquet won the first Grand Prix around here. Track featuring 14 turns, 8 to the right, 6 to the left around this very tight and twisty 4.381 kilometer track. There will be 35 laps running this race, and we should see a lot of tight wheel-to-wheel racing action here in this Grand Prix, as we are just about set to kick off qualifying here. It should be an exciting night of racing here in round 2. Quick overview of the standings before we jump into qualifying here after just 1 week. So the standings are still set to be fully put into motion. Silencer won the first race. He is in the lead with 25 points. KDM in second place is in second, and Mr. Heat Gang in third. Following after that, we have Dragon in the Alpine and his teammate Bucky Blitz in fifth. Refractor, last year's champion of the Wednesday Night Throwdown, in sixth. Bukowski, rookie on the year, looking to make his name known, in seventh. Joe Bonnie, also known as Murex, in eighth. The TV1 man, coming off his season ban from FNL last year, trying to make his name known again, finished ninth. And Junior Correa rounds out the standard points finishing positions in 10th. So we should just be moments away from kicking off an exciting qualifying here, as we have most of the drivers in. I think we're waiting on just 1 or 2 more. Quite unfortunate to take a look at the grid here and see my boys in McLaren unable to make it tonight, but to another night. To another night indeed. Not many crazy storylines to look into tonight, besides the return of someone who was around for a couple races last year in Defy. He will be racing in the Ferrari from here on out. Had a short stint in the Wednesday Night Throwdown series last season, but then, whether it was personal issues or just being fed up with F1 22, left, but he has now come back. He will be racing for Ferrari. Couple big names in the Wednesday Night Throwdown series this season. Couple former Friday Night Lights guys in the running here, with TV1 man Silencer making his return to the track, and Scarthers, who I believe was actually the Haas team principal last season, but due to some real life things, it took him off the track for a little bit, and he's now trying to put his name back up on the top step and get himself back to the Friday Night Lights series, as we are now loading in for what should be an exciting qualifying here around the Hungarring. Get all of my settings enabled here. Should be good there. And now we anxiously await the first car to enter the racetrack. The Hungarring, as you can see in the bottom right of your screen, one of the more interesting track layouts here in Formula One, as a lot of the tracks have those very typical high-speed places where the DRS is really going to be powerful to help make the overtakes done. This track, not so much. Even with the DRS open, we may only see top speeds of about 190 today. As with the tight twisting and turning of the track, this is a very high downforce track where you really got to make some moves stick and really got to try to put the car in the right spot on the road to be able to get moves done around here. As with 17.5 left to go, it looks like we might be seeing TTV One Man being the first one out on track on a set of mediums, so that won't be very representative. And there's somebody else on the track. Looks like it might be the AlphaTauri of Marzi, moving to AlphaTauri this season after driving in the Wednesday Night Throwdown series last season with Aston Martin. Had some good performances, but missed a couple races, which really hurt his chances of the championship. Trying to find the results from last Friday, where Formula Worldwide League's Friday Night Lights series went around the Hungarring to try and find the pole time. Let's take a look. So from quali, Sketchy Bull was able to park his Red Bull on pole by 6/10 with a 1:15.215. So we'll see what these drivers are able to do here. Seemingly, it's a little different track conditions here later in the day. So we will see, as Marzi is going to be the first out on a lap. What is he going to be able to do? 193 miles an hour top speed going into this first tight corner. Oh, man, he's already spun around. So that means his lap is ruined, and he will have to start back over. Hop on board here with the TTV One Man on this set of medium tires. Let's hop on board with him. Don't think we're going to see a very representative lap time on the mediums, but who knows, maybe the former Friday Night Lights second seat in Red Bull last season is able to put something good in with these mediums. Nice and tight through the S's, really trying to maintain the minimum speed through this very slow and twisty Sector 2. Keeps it nice and tidy. The car can bottom out on these curbs quite easily, so gotta really make sure you're getting onto the right part of the racetrack. There are just yellow flags everywhere on the track. There's two cars that are off in turn 1. Already seemingly having some fiascos and some moments here. We just started qualifying, and as the first man across the line, the TV One Man will go on to the provisional pole with a 17.393. And Junior Correa has a 5-place grid penalty for a collision with Bukowski. Silencer goes on to provisional pole with a 16.483. Murex or Giovanni into P3 with a 117.472. See who else is here on a lap. Let's hop in with the Aston Martin of AJ Baseball as he is coming through Sector 3 to finish his outlap and put himself onto his first lap, as there are just a gaggle of cars coming out all together in multiple sections of the track. Sector 3 and then the end of Sector 2. Nice and tidy, a bit wide, missing the apex. The interesting part about the Hungarring as Defy goes on to provisional pole by exactly 1 second with a 1:15.483. On his banker lap, Defy has put himself on the front row from Friday Night Lights. Other times to come in, Scarthers goes P7 with a 117.868. Crazy Carter P8 with a 118.858. King Hamilton with a 119.151, and Bukowski and Marzi with some kind of issues, as those times are obviously not representative of what their pace may be. Bucky Blitz goes P3 with a 116.557, just under a tenth behind Silencer to put his Alpine on the front row. AJ Baseball has had a relatively clean lap here. Let's see what kind of a time he's able to put onto the boards. As Marzi cleans up his second lap and comes into P7 with a 117.694. AJ Baseball to the line, and it's going to be for fifth with a 117.268. As other people are beginning to finish their laps, we'll hop on board here with KTM XDKZ, racing for McLaren last season, moves over to the Alpine for the first season of Formula Worldwide League's Wednesday Night Throwdown series. But as it stands right now, with most of the first laps done, or at least close to being done, Defy is a full second on pole position. Something obscene, something pushing the likes of Sketchy Bull in the Red Bull in Friday Night Lights, as KTM goes fifth fastest with a 117.111. Like I said before qualifying began, this should be a very interesting race. I think we might see a lot of incidents just due to the nature of the track. As Legacy is having some issues with his rear end and it's not biting. As he runs a little wide there, definitely not going to be happy with this lap in the green machine of the Aston Martin. And Defy, after running his banker lap, has already retired from the session. He said, you know what, I want to save those two sets of soft for the race just in case I need them. So with 10.5 minutes left to go, Defy has said, nobody's beating this lap. I'm just going to park my car and take a 15-minute break. Legacy comes across the line for P12 with a 118.227. Oh, excuse me. Junior Correa out on his first lap now, coming through a tidy-looking Sector 1. Really important to maximize the amount of track you can get through this section, because this corner is one of the quicker ones as he gets a wiggle coming out of that, I believe, turn number 5. But it's really important to be able to try and maintain as much minimum speed as you can through these tight, winding corners, where I have a good feeling once we get to the race, we're going to see quite a lot of contact between these drivers. Junior Correa coming through the final corner now, as the TV1 man bolts on a set of softs and comes across the line with a 16.889. Junior Correa goes 11th fastest with a 117.535. So the most interesting part of qualifying right now, obviously besides Defy's lap challenging that of Sketchy Bull, we have from P5 to P13 separated by 0.8 of a second. Things are getting a little spicy here in the Wednesday Night Throwdown series. We'll hop on board with Murex, or formerly Giovanni, going through Sector 1 on his second lap. Currently P10. A lot of time left to find in that lap, as we can tell by Defy, who has just defied all odds and said, yeah, I'm just going to pump this 15.4 in and then just go and take a break. Giovanni, and if the telemetry is correct, sets the fastest first sector time so far, through the tight windy bit. A lot of time to be lost there, but a lot of time to be gained, as well as it's a difficult part of the track to really get right, as he's gonna be getting a lot of traffic here as there's contact between Giovanni and Junior Correa, and Junior Correa has been handed another 5-place grid penalty. So he's no, even if he were somehow able to beat Defy's time, he's going to be starting P11 with a 10-place grid penalty for 2 collisions. And that is unfortunate for Murex, as he was on a pretty darn clean lap. Let's hop on here with Bucky Blitz going through the end of the first sector. He's currently P3 with a 1:16.557. Looking to put that Alpine on the front row. Tidy carrying a lot of minimum speed through there, and we are going to be getting more traffic, it seems, through here as he's bouncing over the curbs. Trying to keep the car moving, keep that minimum speed up through the tight, winding corners. Doesn't seem to invalidate his lap, but it's definitely close. If this is Austria, that's a track limit warning right there. Interestingly enough, I also just noticed TV1 Man has retired from the qualifying session, currently in P4. So I guess he's confident with the lap he was able to put in, and he will call it there as Bucky Blitz goes onto the front row in his Alpine. But as soon as I say that, AJ Baseball beats him by 2.5 tenths to put himself in the Aston Martin on the front row with a 1:16.1, beating Bucky's 1:16.395. Hop on board with TV1 Man's Red Bull teammate Z Manners, currently in 8th, as he's invalidated, so let's go somewhere else. Hop with... Let's right on board with Riffractor for this lap. Last year's Wednesday Night Throwdown Series champion, as he beat out the Schmerzy, as I called him last season, beat him out by just a handful of points in the final race of the season, as Riffractor starts his second hot lap of the session, looking to try and come back and find some form from what he had last season. As in the first race around the British Grand Prix, he was only able to manage P6. So it's respectable, especially starting from P11 on the grid. But the champion from last season is looking to try and be on that front step. Defy seemingly will not be taken off of pole position, but just as in real F1, let's see who can come close to him. Like how we're watching everyone just run away from Max Verstappen this season. It's been a pretty tidy lap as Riffractor is now down in 16th with that 18.754 on his first lap. And see what kind of an improvement he's able to make on this lap as he comes around the final corner and to the line. He's not going to improve. Oh, he did improve, my apologies, but he only went up 1 place with a 1:17.826. We're really trying to see some improvements here from these drivers. Here at the back of the field, we have 4 cars still outside of the 117s. Whereas Defied show the track has quite a lot of grip already, with a 15 on his banker. But as it stands, Crazy Carter coming through the final corner, keeps it nice and tidy. As he comes across the line, it is going to be a 1:18.5 even. Puts his Williams into 17th place. And I'm not sure who just crossed the line. Oh, it was Dragons. Dragons puts his McLaren up into P6 with a 1:16.861. And we'll hop on board now with, I believe Prem's on a lap. Yes, he is on a lap, setting some personal bests through the second sector. But what is he going to be able to entirely put together in, I believe what I saw was the number 69 Haas car. Or is that 89? I can't tell. These numbers are so small as he goes P5 with a 1:16.496, just over 100th behind his teammate Silencer in 4th. And with 3 minutes remaining in this session, it's going to be a mad dash on that last set of softs that people are going to be bolting onto these cars to really see what they're going to be able to put down and who's going to be able to take that second spot on the front row. From P2 to P5, it's separated by 3.5 tenths. So while this is Deffy's pole position, the spot next to him is pretty much up for grabs right now. Coming through the final sector on outlaps. Let's take a look at Joe Bonnie or Mew Rex, as Junior Correa with his grid penalty moves his Williams up into 6th with a 1:16.632. So as of right now, he'll be starting in 16th as Joe Bonnie starts what should be his final hot lap of this qualifying session. Got blocked on the last one, and we've got a lot of traffic of cars coming out of the pits. Is he going to get blocked once again? Let's hope not, because his last lap was looking very neat, very tidy, and very quick. But he unfortunately got hit by Junior Correa. So let's see what he's able to put together here, as there is about 2/3 of the grid all in Sector 1 right now. And this is just asking for disaster to strike quite quickly. This lap looking tidy so far. I'm going to keep my eye on the timing screen to see if anybody jumps up in positions as we are on board with Murex, currently P14. Really trying to get that AlphaTauri at least into the top 8, especially after being blocked on his last lap. Looks like he's only about 2 tenths up right now. So if that is all the improvement, we will see him move up 1 position to P13. But then again, it's F123. The timing screen isn't always right in spectator mode. So as he comes through the final corner, what is he going to be able to put on? It is just going to be P13 for Murex. Let's hop on board with Bukowski. I heard some big things about this driver coming into the season, and he was able to perform pretty well in the opening race of the season, able to bring home P7 on debut. Let's see what he's going to be able to put in here around the final tour of the Hungarring, as there's 15 seconds left. One person is looking to get to the line before the flag flies, and that is Crazy Carter, looking to get himself out of the bottom of the field. Right now, just P18. So not looking good for him, as Legacy goes 14th fastest with a 1:17.0. 3 cars already completed, and it looks like an Alfa Romeo is going to be the first to cross the line. Keeping an eye on the timing table on the left to see who's making jumps, who's going to drop, and who's going to be joining Deffy on the front row. And that Alfa Romeo was Scarter's, and he comes into the pit, so he's not happy with that lap. Bukowski coming to the line, and it's going to be P7 with a 1:16.520. Hopping on board next with Bucky Blitz, who goes onto the front row with a 1:16.1, and AJ Baseball losing his second place, also losing the rear of his car, and that's his lap over. Silencer and Prem staying with the 3rd row, 5th and 6th. King Hamilton also complete passes Crazy Carter to qualify P18. Junior Correa coming across the line now, and he just gives up on the lap. He's done with it. Z-Manor's also giving up on his lap, so I believe that is qualifying complete. Deffy putting on an absolute show in his first lap and only lap of the session with a 1:15.483. And like I said earlier, the impressive thing about that is that would have been good enough for P2 in the Friday Night Lights qualifying last Friday. So I'm going to take a quick break before we get to the racing action. So stay right here on Formula Worldwide Leagues presents the Wednesday Night Throwdown series around the Hungarring. All right. As we are just now waiting for the lobby to get going and to get started, as you can see on the screen here, the great equalizer in Formula One racing. After a bone dry qualifying, we have ourselves a wet race. This will make things even more so spicy. Around a track that's already pretty high downforce, it is intermediate conditions.
Right then, the formation lap has started.
Listen to Crofty
and I must say, the weather
formation
conditions
lap
aren't the best today for visibility and for grip. As each driver performs this lap, they'll be wanting to settle in and concentrate, as this race, in these conditions, will require a lot of focus.
Formation lap being on broadcast, as Codemasters are still struggling to be able to put a full formation lap together. Why is my logo on this Ferrari's helmet? That's interesting, to say the least. As the cars are now forming up on the grid, I take my final drink of water before the lights go out. That is the rest of the grid forming up now, as it should be quite the exciting round 2 against around the Hungarring. as it's 5 lights on ahead of the drivers. And it's foot to the floor and fly away around the Hungarring ring. And Deffy gets a decent start. Bucky Blitz trying to make a look down the inside, and we have a red flag. So I guess we're going to try that again. It didn't look like there was any kind of an incident. Well, I wonder what the red flag was for. It wasn't even full wet conditions, so it can't be for the rain. Maybe the one car in the middle that looked like it kind of either jumped. This was in reverse. Ah. That one car being in reverse may have sent us to a red flag. It didn't look like there was any contact. At least as the lights went out, but again, could be just spectator bug. And here we go again, as it's now 5 lights on ahead of the drivers once again. As we have another jump start. Everybody's jumping, and it's foot to the floor and fly away for a second time running. And it is absolute madness on the front straight, as I see pieces of carbon fiber flying everywhere. Marzi with a jump is going to be in first. Defy leading this race, as there will be a drive-through penalty. Bucky in second, AJ in, well, fourth. Prem in fifth, Silencer sixth, and Legacy in seventh, as we have another yellow flag. Looks like it might be an Alfa Romeo. No, it isn't, but all I know is there's multiple cars going 2 to 3 wide. One man, Legacy, Bukowski, all fighting their way through the corner as Bukowski gets loose. Silencer has a 5-second penalty for corner cutting already. What is going on in this race? As Legacy goes deep, one man takes advantage of that. And Defy already has a second lead ahead of Bucky, as we have cars going 2 to 3 wide through the chicane. And the Aston of Legacy and the Alpha of Scarthers are bumping wheels, going side by side in the wet conditions. This is already absolute madness, and we're not even through the first lap. Hop on board with Defy, as he is looking to make the clean move ahead of Marzi, who jumped the start. So I'm still going to be taking a look through the penalties to see what it is. Okay, so Marzi, Prem, Bukowski, and Z-Manners all have drive-through penalties, seemingly for jumping the start, and Silencer already has a 5-second penalty for cutting a corner, I believe it was, and gaining a place because of it. So the grid as it stands now, once all penalties are served, Defy will be in the lead with Bucky in second, AJ in third, Silencer running in fourth, as it seems as though Dragons in the McLaren is not in the race. Let me see if I would be able to invite him. Okay, he was able to join. So the McLaren is now back in the race, as I was unable to invite him, but that's okay. We have some hot racing action here. Defy pulling ahead of Bucky, and we will run on board now with the TV1 man running in sixth in that Red Bull. Already with a 3-second penalty for track limits, so the track showing, even with high downforce around this circuit, cars are really struggling with grip, as we see both Prem and the TV1 man really fighting the rear end of that car to stay on the racetrack and keep it going in a straight line. TV1 man is really fighting his Red Bull. And just to be able to try and keep it on the track with those green striped tires. Prem heading into the pits to serve his drive-through penalty, as Deffy sets the fastest lap of the race with a 1:27.311. A lot of penalties already on the board, as we see Marzi still yet to serve his drive-through, with Defy right on his rear wing. Silencer with 5 seconds, TV1 man with 3 seconds, Prem with 5 seconds, Bukowski with 5 seconds, and Z-Manners with 5 seconds, as the first lap carnage has cost a lot of people. But now we should start to see a bit of a lull, and, well, as I say that, we seem to have some issues here with Murex, Refractor, and Dragons, who has just recently been able to rejoin this race. As there were yellow flags, but it's seemingly everything is kind of calming back down again, and we should get back to some normal racing here, hopefully. But on a track that's already really difficult to overtake, it's gonna be interesting to see what kind of overtakes people are gonna be able to make, if any. It's hard enough to overtake on this track in the dry, barring some funky issues as Defy putting on his best Max Verstappen impression and just drifting his car through that corner, as we have another yellow flag through Sector 2. It's that same clump of cars with Refractor, Murex, Dragons, and Crazy Carter. That whole gaggle of about 5 cars is really making it difficult for each other, as I see there is what looks like a Williams off, and I believe it was Crazy Carter who went off. Don't know what exactly happened, and he's close to the pit lane wall trying to come out of the final corner. We might just have to hop on board and ride with these guys, because they are having quite the battle back here, as Yen went deep and Refractor moves himself up into the points in P10. As this is our closest battle on the field. Defy now confirmed in the lead, and he has a 1.6 second advantage, hoping to extend that gap a little bit ahead of Bucky Blitz. AJ Baseball 5 seconds back, and then the Haas of Silencer 6.8 back, and TV1 Man 9 seconds back. You can tell just how wet it is with how many of these drivers are just fighting the rear end of the car. Yen really struggling for grip, extremely slow coming out of the chicane. We'll ride on board here with the man who just was able to rejoin in Dragons, as he's looking to overtake the Mercedes at some point, seeing how hard he is struggling for grip. That car is going all over the place. Don't ask Toto about porpoising. Porpoising and hydroplaning, one of the two. Who knows what it is? Dry setup be damned. Make it work. Fight the car if you have to. Let's see some action. As you can just see how much more grip Dragon has going through these corners. Yen is fighting his car on the exit of every single corner. And Dragons is going to be going for a move down the inside into the first corner. Is he going to send it? Oh, he's going to send it down the inside. And it looks like he's going to be able to make this move done pretty easily, as, ooh, Yen able to save that Mercedes. But it opens the door now for Murex to possibly make a move into turn 3. As Junior Correa picks up a 3-second time penalty for track limits. I presume we're going to be seeing quite a few of those, as right now we only have those 2. But there's still plenty of time left, as Refractor picks up his first penalty for track limits here on lap 7 of 35 around the Hungarring. And as I said before, that gap out front starting to slowly become greater, as Defy is now 2.5 seconds ahead of Bucky Blitz, and just making clean work of what is going to be a hectic race. Riding on board now with the Alpha Tauri of Murex, following closely behind the Mercedes of Yen. He really needs to make a move. You can see how little grip Yen has as Yen just shoves him off the road and onto the sausage curb. That was a bit of interesting racecraft here. Going into that corner, he just left him with no place to go. That might be a penalty that the stewards may look into after the race, if of course reported. Would wish we could have the team radio coming from Murex, as he struggles to get out of the final corner there, getting the power down, and it might open the door for Crazy Carter down the front straight. But the stewards may have a look at that, if only we were able to tap into team radio and hear what Murex was saying there, as he was shoved off the road and onto a curb, and just nobody anymore can get out of these corners. You can just see how much work these intermediate tires are trying to do, and they are just unable to do so. Unless, of course, your name is Defy, who we checked in with about half a lap ago, checking to see that gap. That gap now, 4.2 seconds. And climbing. So Defy really making his pace known and just pulling away comfortably. as he's already out of the long slow left-hander as Bucky Blitz was entering it. Move back to, where is it? What am I looking for? I'm looking for just the interval timings. See where our closest gaps are, as it seems as though Marzi, who jumped the start, I believe he was down in the lower positions on the grid. He's in P8 after jumping the start and having to serve his drive-through penalty. So he is making good work of what was a bad situation as him and Legacy go side by side through turn 1. Both cars struggling for grip as Marzi going very bold with the ERS usage coming out of that first corner. Maybe that is one of the issues a lot of these drivers are having. I haven't been paying too much attention to see how much ERS they're using coming out of the corners, but it could be the fact they're just overpowering these intermediates. Coming through each corner. Yeah, Marzi made out like a bandit on that start, even with the drive-through. He started in P13 and has made it work to his advantage. As I believe that is the Aston Martin of Legacy. Yes, it is. They went off and almost spun completely around. And now Marzi might have a look at him through the S sections. Let's hop on board with him in the other AlphaTauri. We saw Murex get squeezed off right in this part of the track upcoming here. Let's see if Marzi has the same fate as Legacy goes off the track. Safely is able to come back. Are we going to see anything frisky? No, we're not. He's going to play it safe and just stay behind this struggling Aston. And with all the fighting and all of the grip loss and everybody that's just fighting their car along with the cars around them, the back of the field is starting to bunch up again. He's down the front straight. Marzi gets a good exit. Legacy, I don't know if he's lagging or if he is just all over the racetrack. But these two are getting tight and close as Legacy almost rear ends Marzi. That was a tight one, and this gap between P8 to about P11 is relatively close, as Murex looks like might be having an issue here. No, he just makes a clean move on Z-Manners into the first corner. Need a drink. So much action, so many bold overtakes, daring moves, and just outright carnage in any sense of the word. My voice can't even keep up with it. As this is our closest battle on the track right now, TV1 Man has been about 8/10 behind Silencer for about the past 3 laps. But this set of 3 right here, as Z-Manners, Murex, and Crazy Carter are all together, and as I'm looking up here, Defi has come into the pits. Defi has boxed, and that is quite early, throwing on a brand new set of those intermediates. So we'll see if this was just a bold strategy or if that grip advantage is really going to help him. Let's stay on board here with Z-Manners, and then we'll hop on board with Defi. And what has happened? What is going on in Sector 1? I'm not sure. But all I know is Bucky Blitz has a comfortable lead. He seems to be coming down quite quickly as Z-Manners goes for a move down the inside, locks the brakes a little bit. Are they going to touch? Are they going to come together? No, it doesn't look like it. But Z-Manners is able to get the power down well. Coming out of turn 1, is he going to make the move into turn 2? They're side by side once again. No, Giovanni's getting flashbacks. Oh my goodness, the Red Bull almost goes into him. But backs out and is able to save it and not have any more kinds of collisions. But as we're talking about this, let's go back with another close battle with Defi on those fresh intermediate tires. Easily making the move down the inside on TV1 Man. Setting a purple Sector 2 while he's at it, just for fun. As Silencer seems to be Defi's next victim, as you can just see the amount of grip he has compared to everybody else. He has so much grip, as Silencer says, you know what, I want to bolt on a set of those new inters. Those look good. And just to show you how easy it's been for Defi, he had 100% ERS starting this lap. He's pretty much on a hot lap at this point, burning what looked like 20% just on that front straight. The gap that was about 10 seconds or so at the start is we have a spin in the back. Who is that? It's Crazy Carter. Crazy Carter has had quite a race so far. He's already spun out twice, hoping for a safety car to try and bring himself back into this race as his Williams teammate, Junior Correa, is side-by-side with Z-Manners going down the inside of the turn one. And he's able to park the car as the two collide. Z-Manners just running right into the side of Junior Correa. But he's able to maintain the place. Z-Manners in these last two laps has had a couple really close battles with people. Just bumping wheels, going side-by-side through corners, and just making it overall very close, as now Junior Correa and Yen, we have seen Yen before struggling on the intermediate tires, just wondering if that's setup based or maybe just unable to really get the car to react how he wants it to as we go through the S's. And then, as I'm saying this behind him, KDM and Murex battling going into the S's. That's not a good place to overtake. There's not enough room for two cars to go through there side by side as Yen and Junior Correa are bumping wheels together. Defi sets the fastest lap with a 1:26.266. Prem gets a 3-second time penalty. We've got a fight going on here as Junior Correa's got to send it down the inside. And they're bumping wheels again. Yen just can't keep his car off of him. Z-Manners, what are you going to be able to do? We've seen the bumping, and oh my goodness, Yen. We've had bumps, and there goes Z-Manners. Z-Manners is around. Defi, the quickest man on the track as of right now, picks up a 3-second time penalty for track limits. The grip showing all of the issues as Z-Manners had spun out, ran into the wall, and now is just going to pull himself back together and try to run it a little more. Hop on board again with Defi on those, I believe, 3-lap-old intermediate tires, 2-lap-old intermediates. And just look at the amount of time he's gaining on Bucky Blitz. Just through that corner alone, he gained half a second, my apologies. And look at that, the gap's already down 0.2 in that corner. He is absolutely flying, basically pushing Bucky through this corner. He's going to get this move done easily, parking his Ferrari around the outside. Bumping wheels between the two of them, and is he going to be able to make the move stick before we get into turn one? Both seemingly using the overtake button. Defi is fully ahead and will retake the lead of this race. And he may just drive off into the sunset at this point. Already made his stop. Doesn't have to do it again, and those Inters may be able to make it the last couple laps as we have some action here. Looks like Scarther's Marzi and maybe the TV1 man had it coming together. I'm not 100% sure. But either way, we had some tipping, tapping, and racing action as we've already had so many cars coming together. Taking a look at positions gained overall or lost. The big losers so far this race are Z-Manners, who qualified P4, now running down in P15, and Prem, who qualified P6, running down in last. I believe he's already a lap down. Yes, he is already a lap down, about a half a lap down, or a lap and a half down, my apologies. So those two struggling, the big people gaining so far. Junior Correa, who had a 10-place grid penalty, qualified 9th, started 19th. He's running in 12th. Riffractor and Marzi both going up 6 places. The big story as Scarthers goes wide, loses grip. And I believe is that the Haas of Prem running next to him? That is the Haas of Prem and Scarthers battling through the first corner as the TV1 man comes into the box to throw on a new set of intermediate tires. He saw what Defi's able to do. Defi's already got a 3.5-second lead. Who's surprised by that at this point? Is it going to be a quick stop for the TV1 man? Yes, it is. Where is he going to come back out? Looking like he might be able to come back out right around P11? Yeah, he's going to come out in P11 behind the Haas of SRT Silencer. But back to the positions gained and lost. Refractor and Marzi being the big ones. The big story, Marzi, who jumped the start, went into the lead before the first corner due to that jump, and he's just made the most of it after serving his drive-through. Now, whether that being just on pure basis of all of the incidents we've seen, all of the tapping of other cars and spinning and yellow flags that have been thrown so far. No safety cars just yet. Marzi's made the most of it. Scarther's jumped up from P10 to P4 as Murex picks up a 3-second time penalty for track limits. Let's take a look at that. I gotta remember where I go. Here we go. As looking at people with track limit penalties, Defi has a 3-second, Refractor 3-second, Silencer the 3-second, TV One Man 3-second, Junior Correa as well as Murex and Prem, all with 3-second time penalties as we are about to hit the halfway point. Bucky Blitz has a quick stop here, bolting on a new set of those intermediates, maybe covering off the undercut. I would say the undercut from TV One Man, but it's not exactly an issue. As Refractor and look to be the Mercedes of Bukowski are putting on new sets of intermediates. Bukowski serving his penalty. So his was speeding in the pit lane for a collision, seemingly. But he no longer has that penalty to worry about. All the people with track limit penalties do. And after Bucky boxed for a new set of intermediates, we head back on board with Defi, as he just has a leisurely drive here on this Wednesday night. Not another car within 14 seconds of him, and he may just be on easy street for the rest of this race. He's already stopped. His inters are going to be 5 laps old at this point. And the next newest, besides the people who have boxed, are Junior Correa, who boxed the same lap as Defi. And he is exactly 40.3 seconds behind the leader. So Defi may just have this race on easy street. Let's hop on board here with the battle for 4th, as Bucky on those new intermediate tires looking to make a move on Dragons as AJ Baseball comes into the box, as well as his teammate Legacy. Double stacking here at Aston, as there's a bit of a difference in the time, so it's not much of a double stack. But both of those drivers just wanting to get a new set of the inters on, find out how much grip they really have. As Bucky Blitz was able to get by Dragons, now battling Scarters, and Scarters just basically gives the place away for free. The amount of grip that Bucky has on those new intermediates, seemingly too much for Scarters here. And now, THR Marzi, the man who jumped, is now running in 2nd after jumping the start. And did I see somebody go deep? No, it's just a horrible camera angle, unfortunately. Let's ride on board here with the McLaren of Dragons. And this is our closest fight of the field right now. 2/10 the gap as we go through the final sector. Not really a lot of overtakes done here. We may see something if Scarthers loses grip. And as I say that, Dragons is going to lose grip. That rear end trying to kick out all over. Scarthers goes wide. And it looks like Scarthers is going to be, yeah, Scarthers is heading into the box for a new set of the intermediates. Up on board here with Bucky Blitz as he is gaining and gaining and gaining on Marzi. Marzi on those 14-lap-old inters, and you can see he's struggling for grip. As Bucky is able to get the power down extremely early going into the straight, and he's fully ahead by the time they reach the apex. So on the road, as it stands, Defi's in first by a country mile, 24 seconds. Bucky Blitz in second, Marzi third. That rounds out the podium. Dragons in fourth, and Marzi and Dragons still need to pit for a new set of intermediates, as they have yet to stop, I believe. Dragons has not stopped. Marzi did his drive-through. So, yes, they both will need to stop before the end of this race. Keep our tire delta up just to keep an eye on who is making the most of these tires, as seemingly enough, Deppy's just going to be able to crawl the car home with the lead he has. He doesn't even need to worry about what his tires are going to look like, and just showing the impressive amount of grip those new Inters have compared to the old ones. Bucky, who made the move into turn 2 of this lap, has already pulled out 3 seconds on Marzi just in the last 2 sectors alone. And as I say that, Marzi is going to dive into the box for a new set of intermediates. Junior Correa picks up a 3-second time penalty. Let's see how quick the AlphaTauri team is going to be able to get their 4th, now 5th place running driver back onto the track with a new set of Inters bolted onto that white, blue, and red car. Pretty quick and tidy stop. He may be battling Junior Correa for P8 coming out of the box. Maybe Scarters for P9. That's right on board here with Scarters coming down the front straight. Marzi's going to be struggling as they did take away the tire blankets this season, so new intermediate or any wet condition tires are going to be extremely cold as the two of these cars, as the two of them almost come together, running wheel to wheel, and they just calm it down. No bumping, no bashing, no nothing as of right now. We just got a nice calm wet race here around the Hungarring ring on the Wednesday night Throwdown series. Hope you guys are enjoying the festivities so far, as we'll hop on board now with Scarters, and this little gaggle of cars has been having a battle now for, I believe these guys have been fighting each other pretty much all race so far. Maybe a couple of cars in and out of there, but seemingly these guys have been the closest together the entire time. Is Marzi going for a big send down the inside of Junior Correa? Is he going to be able to make the move stick? And he gets rammed. It looks by Scarters. He got hit by somebody. And the big loser on that is going to be Junior Correa, as he loses out on 2 places, and now he's under attack from Riffractor in the other Alfa Romeo. Dragons finally coming in looking for a quick stop from my McLaren team, and he already has made a quick stop. He might be fighting Riffractor when he comes out of the pits, but Marzi's clear ahead. Scarters is clear ahead. Now he's going to come out behind Riffractor, who goes down the inside on Junior Correa, locks the rear brakes a little bit, and he's able to not tap into Junior Correa. Very, very rare this race seemingly to not have any contact when they go side by side through any of these corners, just with how little grip we have on the track. And as I say that, who's spun around, it's going to be Z-Manners on those new 1 lap old intermediates. Grip not really working out for him very well. But as it stands, again, the gap at the front of the field is quite large. Defi on some 10-lap-old intermediates, 22 seconds ahead. Bucky is slowly pulling that gap down, but the gap is still tremendous. The gap ahead of Bucky to AJ Baseball is 13.1 seconds. So the podium places alone are 35 seconds behind the leader in total between the two of them. That is just an absolutely absurd pace from Defi. Showing that on this. At this point, he might be looking to push for a FNL seat, because that kind of pace is something else. TV 1-man running in 4th with a, I believe, just 3-second time penalty at the moment. As we have another fight breaking out between Dragons, Riffractor, and Junior Correa. Dragons and Riffractor going side by side into turn 2. Who's going to be ahead? Who's going to be able to keep it on the road as 1-man picks up another penalty? Dragons and Riffractor bumping wheels. And Dragons is going to go wide, and here comes Junior Correa. Dragons parking it on the inside, just forcing the Williams to cede that place back. He says, I didn't lose that on my own. Give me that back. And he's through and maintains 9th position in this race. So many people have been just bumping wheels, running into each other, going off wide, forcing other people off wide. that it's been a quite interesting race so far, as we'll ride on board now with the Williams and Junior Correa. See what kind of action we can't see from those two. As he might have some kind of damage. He is really losing in terms of time to Refractor and Dragons. As we have looks like a Red Bull stopped on the racetrack, and we got a virtual safety car. And it's Z-Manners who's missing his front wing. All of it, every little piece of it is gone. Wonder if he got tapped or if he just lost control of the car. Who's going to be coming into the pits? Scarther's boxing. It's a double stack here at Alfa Romeo, taking advantage of it. Junior Correa, Bukowski coming in. Legacy on those 4-lap old tires. Bukowski was on 5-lap old intermediates, and he's going to throw on a new set. So taking advantage of the virtual safety car. Refractor maybe lost a little bit of time with the double stack with his teammate, but one person who, at least as of right now, has not lost any time is our driver out in front, Indefy. He's 27.5 seconds in the lead. Last time we checked in with him, he was 23. So who knows? Virtual safety car should be going away here momentarily. And Defy going to take advantage of it, and he's going to be able to come in and throw on a new set of intermediates. I will return in a moment. My apologies, ladies and gentlemen. Nature does indeed call, even when you're commentating the Wednesday Night Throwdown series around the Hungarring, as we have the closest battle for the lead so far since about lap 8. After Defy boxes on lap 22 under the virtual safety car for a new set of inters, we have an 8-second gap to the lead. Make it 9.3 and 9.4, and that gap's just going to keep on getting bigger. So Bucky, running a good race up to this point, was able to put his Alpine, I believe, on the second row in qualifying. No, he was able to put it on the front row. So he maintains his place. AJ Baseball also maintaining his place. Big loser so far of the race. Z-Manners, qualified P4 in dry conditions, gets to the wet conditions, and is down in last, in 19th position. Unfortunate race so far for him. And let's take a look and see what kind of a battle we have going on the track. We have Refractor and Bukowski, who's making his own racing line, seemingly. That is going to be our closest fight in the field. KDM making some time up to Legacy, but as of right now, it's just going to be seeing who spins off, seeing if there's any kind of issues going on here, as there's a gaggle of cars here going through Sector 1, led by the TV1 man, who's running in 4th place with, I believe, a 6-second penalty, as we have, it looks like an AlphaTauri spun out in Sector 2, and yes, that is, it's going to be Murex. He spins around, coming out of what I believe is turn 6. No virtual safety car, no shenanigans here. I'll hop back on board here with the TV1 man, leading this pack of cars here from P4 to P6. These three going to be the closest on the field, as it looks like Silencer is getting a little antsy. No, that Silencer isn't getting antsy. That's his teammate Prem. His teammate Prem in the middle, and Z-Manners duking it out here for 17th on the field as Defy sets the fastest lap with a 125.3. If you're shocked, type it in the chat, because I'm not. Man's pace is on something else, as we have, it looks like an Alpine who spun. That is, it's KDM. KDM x DKZ has spun coming out of the same corner we just saw Giovanni spin out in. Quite Unfortunate for him, he drops out of the points down in the P13. But again, this gaggle of cars here really battling. Prem and Z-Manners fighting for P17. And we have Marzi getting it done on TV1 man on the front straight. And Z-Manners and Prem going side by side. Z-Manners is going to get by him and make the move. Do we see any yellow flags? Is there anything happening? No, it seems they stay clean out of it. We'll hop on board now with the Haas of Silencer, looking to see if anything happens ahead. He has a couple back markers that he's going to have to get through in his teammate Prem, Z-Manners, and I believe Crazy Carter is the lead car in that bundle. Yes, it is in the Williams. So he's going to have to get through these cars quite quickly if he wants to try and make up the time he lost to the TV1 man. He's about 3 seconds behind TV1 man at this point as it stands. But these back markers are really going to be putting a thorn in his side as Deffy sets the fastest lap again with a 125.271. KDM has just decided, you know what, I'm done with this race. Rain be damned, I'm going home. And he just parks his Alpine and saves it for next week around Spa. Hopping on board again with the TV1 man. Followed closely behind by his teammate Z-Manners. 2 separate sides of the field, how they're running, but the Red Bulls are still running behind each other, and Silencer seems to have an issue. No, he's just coming into the pits. I believe it might have been the Haas of Prem who spun coming through the penultimate corner. His race is just continually going from bad to worse as Silencer now going on to bolt on a new set of those intermediates. We've got more fighting here in the final sector. That's an Aston of Legacy. Refractor, and these guys are battling it out as Bukowski loses the rear a little bit. Let's hop on board with Refractor going into turn 1. Is he going to make the move stick? Is he going to dive down the outside? That Haas might be a problem for Legacy Games. Refractor is going to park it down the outside. Will he get the grip down? Yes, he will. He's going to get the move done, which leaves Legacy open to a move here from Junior Correa, who's going down the outside. Is he going to be able to make it stick? No, he's not, and that might open the door for Bukowski, who's really trying to park his car on that gearbox. There's 4 cars within a second here fighting as we go through Sector 1. Will we see any more contact? Will we see any wrecks? Will we see anything exciting? Besides this, as Bukowski looks to make the move, and he spins him out! Bukowski's rammed into Junior Correa and just said, "Get out of my way!" That's another thing that will most likely be looked at by the stewards, and it was looking good for a little bit, but Bukowski unable to get the move done cleanly. So now heading through Sector 2 again, AJ Baseball looking to see if he can't make the move back on Refractor, get that place back he took on the last lap down the front straight. As this race is proving to be something exciting. As of this point, we've had a virtual safety car. No full safety car yet, which I think at this point, most people don't want a full safety car. But it definitely helped in terms of bolting on a new set of those intermediate tires as we ride on board with Legacy as Bukowski's trying to make that rear wing smaller on the Aston Martin. Is he going to be able to gain enough? Not just yet, but he is starting to make that place back as Refractor is starting to pull away from AJ Baseball a little bit. Trying to get a comfortable gap here to keep P9. And just to show our leader here, we'll hop back on board here with Deffy as he's going through his calm Wednesday evening time trial laps at this point. Nobody around him, not another car in sight. Just driving that beautiful Scarlet Ferrari around the track, and as I say that, his teammate in the other Scarlet Ferrari, King Hamilton, has an issue, and he's gone deep into there. Does he have damage on his Ferrari? Doesn't look like he has damage, but he's definitely struggling going through the S's of this section. He might have some end plate damage, which really would hurt him. And Bucky Blitz now coming into the pits for a new set of inters. He's going to come out in P4, 5? Is TV1 man going to get him? No, he's not. So Bucky's going to be able to stay in P4. And he's only about 6 seconds behind of AJ Baseball running in P2 right now. with Marzi hot on his tail. THR Marzi, our biggest gain so far, started in this bottom half of the field, jumped the start, served his drive-through penalty, and has been running at the lowest P8, I believe, if not higher, since he served his drive-through. Just, it started bad, but it's been a masterful race from him so far after that. As he is right on the gearbox of AJ Baseball. Let's ride on board here with him. Gonna be looking to make a move here into turn one. Just trying to keep the car as close as he can to him through this final sector. Not a whole lot of overtakes done here unless a car loses all sorts of grip. Seemingly, yeah, a lot of people have been losing a lot of grip through this section, so we'll see what he's going to be able to do coming out of this corner. Comes a little wide as Prem picks up a 3-second time penalty. We have a Haas. We have a Haas that's gone off. That's Prem X9. He's gone off. His teammate goes by him, and Marzi's not even using the battery. He's not even going to try to make this move into this corner, but he does have to slow the car down a little bit. As you can see, AJ Baseball struggling. He's struggling to get the rear tires to bite. That overtake button proving to be something feisty with it, as Dragons makes the move onto TV1 Man in turn one to bring his McLaren up into 5th. Didn't see it on the stream, but I'm sure it was probably involved some tapping. Some tip tapping, as that is an AlphaTauri going very slowly without a front wing. Is that Marzi? No, that's not. That is Murex, unfortunately. Murex seems to have hit the wall and lost his front wing, as TV1 Man somehow able to save the car there, as he's... Oh my goodness! What is going on with TV1 Man? We've got even more action going on back here. We've got yellow flags flying. Murex struggling without a wing. Silencer trying to make some moves done on the cars with blue flags. Still not moving out of the way. The cars with blue flags still not moving out of the way. He's able to get by cleanly, but might have to have a talk with the old FIA about the rules on avoiding blue flags or ignoring them. Because seemingly a lot of people just kind of ignore them. It's a bit of a problem, but we move on as TV1 Man diving into the box. He might have some damage. Let's keep on board with him through his pit stop. As Bucky Blitz moves himself back into 2nd place. Marzi, it's a clean stop for TV1 Man. I almost said Sketchy Bull. Not even close. But it's a clean stop for TV1 Man. He's going to come out in P9. Bucky Blitz moves himself back up into 2nd. Marzi stays in 3rd. And AJ Baseball so far has been the big loser on that last lap at least, as he was running in P2, and Bucky has now run himself back up into P2. But again, hop on board with Deffy on his leisurely drive. Get a couple more drive-bys of it. 45-second lead. 4 laps to go. Most casual race up to this point for him. And Bucky again is just pulling a gap on THR Marzi, already up to 3 seconds. We got a battle here for 6th place. Silencer and Scarthers. Silencer just gets right past him and is hoping to drive off into the distance to see if he can maybe close that gap up to Dragons in P5. Get that Haas up into a top 5 position here. My voice can barely keep up. But by the by, we will take a look and see who is still on the lead lap. So we've got about a 1 minute and 25 second lap. Probably 127s consistently for Deffy. So by that, Deffy would have lapped up to P12. Up to this point, as it looks like he is going to be closing in on Bukowski here soon. Which Ferrari is the one behind him? I will discover this in a moment. Yes, that is Defi. So Defi is closing in on Junior Correa and Bukowski, who are battling it out going through Sector 1. Bukowski closing in on Legacy as well. Oh, he's not fighting Junior Correa. I looked at the wrong thing. Right on the wing cam here of Bukowski. As he's looking to make a move on the Legacy games and get himself up into the podium places. Defi picks up another 3-second time penalty. Not like it matters too much. He's got a 46-second lead. He's just going to end the race with a 40-second penalty, with a 40-second lead instead of a 46-second lead. The closest battle on track up to this point is Bukowski heading through. We have a car spinning off. Who is that? That is going to be Prem. Prem DNFs. Prem has crashed out of the race here on lap 31. This race wasn't going great, but it just went from bad to worse, as he is out of the Hungarian Grand Prix. What's been a scrappy race from a lot of people so far, just due to the wet weather after the dry qualifying. Park Ferme makes that quite difficult to master those setups. Bukowski gets a little bit of a hop and a skip over that curb. He had a good drive coming out of the corner, but Legacy was able to keep the car off the curb, so he's going to maintain P10, at least at the moment. Is Bukowski going to be able to make a move into turn 2? Does he have the power down? He does, but he's not going to be able to keep it close enough, as One Man and Riffractor are battling up here. Riffractor almost coming together with the TV1 Man. And as I was saying, Silencer starting to close that gap. That gap is down to 1.2 on Scarther, so he's looking to finish in a top 5 place here. Don't think he's going to be able to get any more here on lap 33 of 35, but hey, you never know. He's already gained 8. He's already only 9/10 behind, and from bad to worse, Dragons, who was just running in P7 or P8 not too long ago, he's left the race and he's now in P14, so something happened to him. Not sure what. I'm sure we'll hear about it in the Discord channel after this race, as Silencer making a big move on the AI car. The AI car coming back at him. These two are going wheel to wheel coming out of the final corner. And then Silencer's just going to drive away from him. Unfortunate for Dragons that he disconnected once again. When we go forward, that move onto the AI car actually really cost Silencer, as he was about 8/10, 7/10 behind. He's now back to 1.2 behind. Checking in with Defi just so we can watch his final lap of the race. Next lap. We'll keep an eye here on Silencer, who is gaining quite quickly on Scarthers. Gets that gap back to right around a second. This, I believe, is going to be the closest thing on the field we're going to get to a fight, except for maybe Bukowski having a look at Legacy. But those two have been going at it for the past couple of laps, so we'll see what's going to be going on there just in a little bit, as the timing screen is just going to absolute hell. As Dragons is negative 1 minute and 16 seconds behind the car in front of him, which is quite impossible, but thank you, Codemasters, for giving us such a great game to play every year. We love it so much. Anyways, 2 laps to go here. Silencer trying to make a move on Scarthers. AJ Baseball calmly in 4th. Marzi, what a race from him. He might be our driver of the day here. Rounding out the podium places as it stands in P3. Bucky Blitz in P2, and then Defi P1. TV1 Man running in 7th, started in 11th. We'll take one final look at position changes to this point in the race. Marzi started P12. He's running in 3rd. Scarther's up 5 from 10th. Riffractor started 15th, running in the points in 8th. Junior Correa starting last with the 10th place grid penalty. And as I say that, he picks up another 3-second penalty, but he's running in 11th, gaining 8 places from the start of this race. And as the final lap is being ran by Defi, we'll just ride along with him through his final tour of the Hungarring for round 2 of the Wednesday Night Throwdown series. It's been a masterful drive from him up to this point. He set, I believe, 4 fastest laps throughout the course of this race, and the only person that beat him was himself. He may try to put another one here, just to put the icing on the proverbial cake. He's got a 47-second lead. There's nothing that can really stop him. He might, as he drifts the car through the S's, through Sector 2. It's been a great drive. We didn't watch it much because we had some hot racing action to pay attention to. But we watched the timing screen. We see what it is. As he comes through the final sectors, there's an AlphaTauri off in Sector 1. Not sure who it is. Looks like it may be Murex. But coming through the final corner now in that scarlet red Ferrari, he made the most of the rain. He made the best of the conditions that he saw. And coming into the line now, Defi is going to win the Hungarian Grand Prix by 47 seconds, no less. What a drive from him. Legacy's going to come home in 9th. Bukowski in 10th. Junior Correa 11th. Yen is going to come home in 12th. Z-Manners 13th. Dragons 14th. Crazy Carter 15th. Murex 16th. And King Hamilton 17th. As we're riding on now with who's going to be our second place driver, Bucky Blitz, as he comes through the final corner. He tried to put up as much a fight as he could, but he's going to park that Alpine on the second step of the podium. Bucky Blitz is P2 in Hungary. And right on board now through the final 2 corners with the man who jumped the start of the race. He made the best of what was a horrible situation with the drive-through penalty he served on lap 4, but he's able to start his run well. He finishes 3rd, gaining 10 positions. Scarthers comes home in 4th. Silencer 5th. TV One Man 6th. AJ Baseball off the track, and it's not going to matter too much. Riff Ractor comes home in 6th, and he's disqualified. So AJ Baseball is actually going to finish at the back of the field with the other cars that crashed out early. And as I predicted, Marzi was going to be our driver of the day, and he is. Coming back from the drive-through penalty, but the story of the day is Defi's Mega Drive. A 47-second advantage. But it might not count it because he DNF'd right after the line and left. So as it looks, Bucky Blitz is standing on the top of the podium with THR Marzi in 2nd. And I believe it was Scarthers in 3rd. What a drive from him, the former FNL driver, coming back after half a season away last year. But what an exciting race it was. Plenty of battles, plenty of racing action, plenty of interesting maneuvers. But either way, as it stands now, Bucky Blitz is your winner with Defi dropping to P7. Don't know how that works, but either way. Timing screen is so broken. This race was not 80 minutes long. Bucky Blitz seemingly is your winner. THR Marzi starting at P12, finishes 2nd. Scarthers in 3rd. Silencer 4th. TV One Man in 5th. Riffractor 6th. Defi in 7th. Legacy 8th. Bukowski 9th. And Junior Correa starting from the back of the grid with that 10-second grid, or the 10-place grid penalty in 10th. What a day of racing we had here. What a night of racing. Join us on Friday night at same time, 11 p.m. Eastern Time, for round 3 of the Formula Worldwide Leagues presents the Friday Night Light Series around the beautiful Spa-Francorchamps. We will see you guys on Friday night. Thanks for joining us, and hope you have a great rest of your night.